So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grid here for the Golf Pro Car Series. And, well, my cameraman's gone over there, so let me just go stand in front of him so you can see where I am. Oh, there he is. He's found me. There we go. We've got the cameraman now in front of me here too. We've got Guru here. He is the pole sitter and a newcomer to the Golf Pro Car Series. And he's done it in style because he's gone straight for pole position, beating the likes of Tani Hana. So we're going to try and get a word with him. But if I can get the cameraman to follow me quickly while Guru... You know what? Let's get Guru in. Let's get him straight away. There's, of course... Well, the team is talking to him. That's Axel Jeffries there, for those of you who are watching GT racing. And a formed racer in his own right. He's here to do some driver coaching. I think he's raced pretty much every GT car on the planet. I think he raced like 4 cars in the same year. But I think he might have done that in like 2 months, by the way. A phenomenal character he is. And, of course, that might explain why Guru is just that fast. You know what? We'll leave Axel and Guru to talk about that for now. Let's go over to see Tani Hana. Because, again, we've got another driver here from the Middle East that we can talk to. So I just want to see if I can get the cameraman to come with me onto the other side of the grid. So we're here. Let me see if I can get a word with Tani Hana here. It's been a while. Tani, it's been a long time since I've seen you, but you're back here in the Golf Pro Car Series. You're on the front of the grid, but you're second. Talk me through it.
Well, honestly, it's too hard to compete with the Porsche on this short circuit. You know, there's a very short corner, and especially the kink there. This car, if I do a few times, the kink is going to break, I know for sure, so I better stay safe. Guru also is a very good driver. He come up across quite a bit since last I know him, and he have a very strong car for today formation, or let's say race for the race, the track how it is laid today and the national circuit.
So it's great to see you back in the championship. Of course, we look forward to seeing more of you. What's in store for Tani Hana this year?
Honestly, I'm quieting down a bit. I mean, you know, age is kicking in, so I'm kind of like, take it as it comes, whatever comes in front of me and is suitable, I take it just to keep fit and having fun, and because, I mean, this is something that I love to do. It's not about winning and losing anymore for me, it's just about stay in the game.
So modest, isn't he? And you know what he says? Oh, Time to slow down. If you look at the roof of his car that we saw before, there isn't much that he has got left to win, by the way, in Ferrari Challenge. Tani, congratulations for this division. And, of course, we wish you all the best. Great to speak to him, as always. Let me see if we can get a quick chat with Guru, actually, before we do this. I know the team are calling him down. Guru here, the man that put car on pole. Tani said some really good things about you. This is the first time I've seen you on track, and you put it on pole straight away.
Yeah, this is my first race in Dubai. So yeah, happy to be on pole and looking forward to a nice race.
And I see you've got driver coaching from Axel Jeffrey, so that gives you that additional support. But from what I've heard from Tani, you are very quick.
Thank you so much. I've been working with Axel. It's been a good 2 days with him.
Great. Well, the race is about to start, so I'll let you get in the zone, yeah? Thank you so much for talking to us. There is a lot to talk about further down the grid. Remember, we've got 4 classes here. We've got Class 2, Class 3, Class 4, and the Renault Clios. You can see the slew of Clios down there. There are so many of them, and they always put on fantastic racing. Eduardo Miranda is back in the championship. Watch out for him in the number 5, because he's going to be good fun to watch, along with the rest of the field. Now, an update about Avik Anwar. Unfortunately, he picked up a penalty during the qualifying session, because apparently his car was too loud. So that's quite interesting. So we'll leave the grid for now, because we're about to start the race for the Golf Pro Car Series. So we'll jump upstairs back to the commentary box. So, welcome back to racing action here at the Dubai Autodrome. We're now racing for the Golf Pro Car Series. This is race 1 of round 2, because of course round 1 took place a couple of weeks ago down at the Yas Marina circuit. We've got some new faces, some old faces, some new entrants this weekend, which is great to see. And we have, of course, 16 drivers who will take to the track here today. So let's run through the running order, because of course we do have 4 classes, as we mentioned before. We have Class 2, Class 3, Class 4, and right at the tail end of the field, unfortunately, as I said before, Avik Anwar is all the way there, and he's going to fight his way through the field here today to be on the top step of the podium in Class 4. So let's see what he can do. But it's Guru on the front row of the grid with Tani Hana alongside for company. Tani Hana was not with us last weekend, nor was Guru either. He was absent, but he's been quick right at the box, and almost a full second faster compared to Tani Hana in his Ferrari 488. The 92 car of Masoud Gibrane is in 3rd position with Vasily Vatikin alongside for company, the first of the Class 3 cars. Then we have Keith Gatehouse, the second of the Class 3 cars, tucked in behind on row number 3, with the first of the Renault Clios, David Pagosian, will line up alongside Keith Gatehouse. Eduardo Miranda, who returns to the championship, alongside newcomer Daniel Jones on row number 4. Pascal Bachmann will share the 5th row of the grid with our first Class 4 driver Ahmed Al-Khaja, with Charlotte Simmons and Ivan Stanchin lining up on the 6th row of the grid. James Greenwood and Valerie Bachmann will share the 7th row of the grid, and at the tail end of the field we'll have 2 Class 4 cars of Krishna Reddy-Patty and Avik Anwar, who will share that the 8th and final row of the grid. A fantastic field of cars here, plenty to watch out for here. Welcome back to racing of the 23-24 season. We're about to get underway shortly, so we're cresting over turn 15 now, and we'll be descending our way through turn 16 in a few moments' time. And of course, we're under starters orders here for the rolling start that will be for the Golf Pro Car. So it is up to Guru and Tani now to work their way through that final corner. As the lights are on, we wait for the starters orders and we'll wait for the lights to go out, and we'll be racing officially now for the first time for the Golf Pro Car. Good start for Vasily Vatikin, but the guy who started alongside him, Mustard, automatically goes through faster because, of course, he is in the faster, the quicker Ferrari. And it looks like he's going to challenge for the lead going down. We're going to go 3 wide down towards turn 1. A great start there from Masood, but Tanihana shuts the door on both him and Guru to take the lead of the race. Guru almost gets it wrong through that first corner, but manages to keep all 4 wheels on track and continues on and settles in for second. But for how much longer will this happen? Because Tanihana's got the lead, but here comes Guru around the outside. He's got the inside line for the next corner, but Tani shuts the door on him pretty much immediately as they work their way through sector 1 here for the first time. Masood ducked in right behind them as well. Aviganwa actually starts from the pit lane, so even worse news for him because now he has to catch Krishna Reddy-Patty and Ahmed Al-Khaja at some point. So that's going to be quite a tough ask for the number 71 driver, but they just saw him in the in the background of the shot there, just circulating his way through the first couple of corners. So that's going to take him some time to catch that field up. Guru is settled in for second position as Tanihana now takes the lead as he works his way through the club circuit here for the first time in his Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo. The 911 Cup car driven by Guru at the moment. He's currently sat in second. He was our pole sitter. We spoke to him earlier today. Great to have him in the championship and contact between the two of them as they work their way through the bowl complex. And that is devastating there for the two drivers. Tanihana spoke so fondly of Guru before we had a chat with him, and unfortunately the two have had a coming together. This puts now Masood up into the lead, and look at Keith Gatehouse as well. We hardly noticed what he did because he's up now into the second position overall. And into the pit lane comes the safety car. Here's a replay of what happened through the bowl. Just too late on the brakes, dives to the inside as Tanihana tries to shut the door, and Guru connects the right front to the left rear of Tanihana, and both are going to be very upset with that move. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we'll be continuing racing shortly, but we have not seen a safety car on a yellow flag, so we might have a local yellow. Neither car has pulled into the pit lane. There's another shot of it again, of the incident between the two of them. Masood did a fantastic job there of not going to the Vasily Vatikin, and Keith Gatehouse also getting through. Into the pit lane has come. Guru has come in with damage sustained on that 911 Cup car. Yellow flag still not present out, so no safety car here. It would have been a great relief there for Aviganwa, whose car now sounds like a hairdryer for some reason. A very interesting noise coming from the back of that, but he's got past Krishna Reddy-Patty by the looks of it. As we're looking at Ahmed Al-Khaja now, the leader in Class 4 at the moment, behind the wheel of his GT86 from the United Arab Emirates. And we're back now with the race leader. Did a great job escaping. That now explains how Keith Gatehouse, got into second place, because of course he was on the inside while Vasily Vatikin took avoiding action around the outside. So I presume that Tanihana's car has been pushed somewhere, and he's managed to get it off the track and off the racing line as well, without the need of a safety car intervention. And well, Guru, unfortunately, that's race number 1 done. Unfortunately, that's not exactly what he wanted at all. It didn't look like that much of a heavy impact between the two of them, but unfortunately it was enough to put at least Guru out of the race. We've not seen Tanihana come through. Yes, we have. Tanihana has gone through. He's down in 13th at the moment, so Tanihana is able to continue on as Masood Jabran continues to lead here at the Dubai Aerodrome by, well, 3.9 seconds over Keith Gatehouse, who is not in the same class, however, is on track for an overall podium finishing position here, and he could be on the second step of the podium as well. Vasily Vatikin is the other car that's in Class 3, currently circulating in 3rd overall, as Krishna Reddy-Patty loses a position to Valkyrie Bachmann. And there is Tanihana as well, so the damage to his car is not as significant. Yes, you see there on the left rear of the car, there's only a slight scuff. You can just see it behind the wheel arch there. But luckily for Tanihana, no extensive damage. It seems to be the brunt of the damage was taken up by Guru in the 39. So that's very unfortunate there through turn 14, which put one of our Class 2 cars out. Tanihana still circulating Zaviganwa there across the line. It's a very interesting noise as well coming from that car, as we said before. But Masood is the quickest man out there with a 1:29.019. And he is currently 3.9 seconds up the road from Keith Gatehouse, who is trying his best to keep Vasily Vatikin at bay because he knows what's at stake here. There's a second place podium here in the hands of Keith Gatehouse. And there is the battle as they come across the line between the two of them. It's a good battle here brewing between the two Class 3 drivers, separated again by 0.4 of a second. So Gatehouse able to add some time here. Vasily Vatikin raced in the Clio last season. As there is some debris there through turn 14. Now, it's not exactly on the racing line, although it is on the outside of the racing line. And it seems to be some fluid has been dropped down there as well. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. As the race continues on, and Tanihana now has to work his way through the field. Not something that he'd like to be doing currently. He knew that he'd probably do it at some point, but not in this position, because of course he probably would have done it to overtake these cars and put them a lap down. But this time round, as Tanihana works his way through, he's made his way past the Clio. So Masoud leads in Class 2 from Keith Gatehouse and Vasily Vatikin overall. Class 3 leaders Keith Gatehouse and the Clios. David Pagusan is the race leader in that category, currently showing us 4th overall. Charlotte Simmons has had a great start. She's up into 2nd in the category, ahead of Eduardo Miranda, who's down into 3rd position in the Renault Clios. Class 4 leader Ahmed Al-Khaja dropping down the order. Moving to the clutches now, Valerie Bachmann, who is currently in 12th and 13th respectively. Now, Karishna Reddy-Patty is actually still ahead of Avik Anwar as well. So I did think that Avik Anwar got through. So Guru is currently in the pit lane as across the line goes Avik Anwar. And here come the Class 3 leaders. Keith Gatehouse followed by Vasily Vatikin as they work their way down towards turn 1 here. Once again, they move past the number 71 of Avik Anwar. Through turn 1 they go. Looks like Vasily Vatikin is struggling here with traffic in the way. He's not been able to gain ground like he did at Yas Marina, because of course the roles were reversed a couple of weeks ago when we were down in Abu Dhabi between these two, and it looks to be Keith Gatehouse has the upper hand here. And here we come on some more lap traffic, and it's not playing the hands of Keith at all as Vasily is closing in. Keith is forced to go around the outside. Here we go. Vasily Vatikin takes the position away, all due to that traffic, and unfortunately Keith Gatehouse just nowhere to go. Unfortunately caught that Honda EP3 just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Vasily Vatikin saw the opportunity and he squeezed through on the inside to take that place back. Tanihana now the quickest man out there with a 1:28.592, and now is currently up into 4th position. And of course he'll be on this battle here between these two momentarily. Now of course he's going to get through them rather quickly, but Keith Gatehouse is going to try and follow him through, although the speed difference is there between the two of them. It's not going to be easy for Keith Gatehouse to follow Tani through, but let's see what Gatehouse can do as we continue to watch this battle here for the Class 3 lead and the 2nd step of the podium as well, we've got to remember, because 27.9 seconds behind them is the 488 Challenge Evo of Tanihana, but he's done a 1:28.592, so he's 2 seconds faster than these two GT4 spec cars. As across the line goes the Class 3 battle. Now, how far back is the 488 Challenge Evo of Tanihana? As again, Keith Gatehouse looking for the way on the inside, but Vasily Vatikin shuts the door on him. It looks like Keith Gatehouse certainly has the speed on the straightaway. A late brake maneuver there could have certainly helped him. As Avik Anwar now closing in. No, he's not. He's shown as a lap down behind Karishna. There is Tanihana, heavy into the braking zone down towards turn 1. 34.5 seconds behind our race leader. And of course, he's looking to get back up into the top 3 overall here. Now, we will have a Class 3 car on the overall podium, which will be a first for the championship this season. We did not have it down at Yas Marina. As unfortunately, Guru now officially out of the race here. That's very unfortunate after that magnificent qualifying effort earlier today. There's Daniel Jones there across the line of the older spec Clio, and now unfortunately tumbling down the order behind the Gen 5 Clios at the moment. So in that category, David Pagusan leads from Eduardo Miranda, and Charlotte Simmons are your top 3 at the moment. Now we're looking at the number 5 at the moment. That is Eduardo Miranda. The young Mexican has done a few years now with us. Has also done Clio Cup Middle East as well. Great to see him back in the championship. As Keith Gatehouse now drops to 2.1 seconds behind Vasily Vatikin, and Tanihana now just a corner behind them. Actually make that a straightaway now behind them, because he's coming through the final corner now. And there he is across the line. So he's quite a ways back from the 2 Class 3 cars that are in front of him. Of course, course, that is the battle for second overall, and he wants to be part of that battle as well. The Class 2 car unfortunately involved in an incident with another Class 2 car in turn 1. Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't turn 1, it was turn 14, my apologies. That's where it happened through the bowl, isn't it? Avik Anwar now across the line again, still currently circulating in third overall. They're shown as a lap behind our Class 4 leaders of Ahmed Al-Khaja and, of course, Krishna Reddy Patti. He's still our race leader, now extending his gap to 10.6 seconds. There he is now, and he sees his next target in sight. Now that's the 42 car, I think, of Valuakan. No, it isn't. That'll be the 64 that's in front of him. Indeed it is. So he moves off to the right-hand side. There is Avik Anwar, currently circulating in third overall in Class 4 in his GT86. As he circulates around in third overall, 15th at the moment on track. Trying to claw back some time and get that lap back as well on both Krishna Reddy Patti and, of course, the Class 4 leader Ahmed Al-Khaja. Lane continues to lead though and has more Clios in front of him. Now he's got the Gen 3 Clio in front of him. There's Daniel Jones. As Daniel Jones moves offline to move out of the way to allow Jabrin in front of him. Of course, doesn't want to impede the race leader here, although has got a sizable gap between himself and second and third position, who is still battling for that second step of the podium. It's 1.6 seconds now separating Keith Gatehouse and Vasily Vatikin. And Tani Hana also bringing them in. Now the gap is down to 19.6 seconds with 13.5 minutes remaining on the clock here around the auditorium. Again, we're using the national circuit configuration, 3.56 kilometers in length. Using a small part of the back straightaway and, of course, the Club Link as well, which I thought was going to be the hotspot this weekend, but it seems I've been proved wrong so far. It's been turn 1 and now turn 14 where we've seen some instances happen. As Avik Anwar now has a faster Clio approaching his back bumper. Lets the car through, then there's Charlotte Simmons in the 28, that's gone through. A little bit further back there with a lock up there on the front right of, now is that David Pogosyan and Eduardo Miranda? I think it is. Those are the two that are locked in battle at the moment, because that gap is 7.7 of a second, excuse me, between these two as they go past Krishna Reddy Patti and his Honda EP3. Now the two Class 3 cars also approaching the back marker Clios at the moment. They make quick work of it, unfortunately for Keith Gatehouse. Not the same position that he was in, but he got stuck behind a Clio who wants Vasily to have the same situation as that, so that Keith Gatehouse can capitalise on that situation. And there is Keith Gatehouse. Oh, he's closing in. Yes, he has, because the Gen 3 Clio, they've caught them in a slower corner as well, and that's allowed Gatehouse to really close the door on him here. Brings the gap down to less than a car length, but it extends. They work their way to the acceleration zone. Now what can he do on the inside of the next corner? Taking a much tighter line compared to Vasily Vatikin here. Now they work their way onto the back straight. Now can Keith roll him in here along the back straight before we get to the Club Link? And we dive to the right-hand side. Let's see what Keith can do this time round. He's got a lot of slower cars in front of him. Avik Anwar gets passed by one of the Clios, and Vasily Vatikin starts to stack up because he's stuck behind Avik now for the time being. This is allowing Keith Gatehouse to close up. As they go through the bowl now, Avik moves offline. Through on the inside goes both Vasily and Keith as they work their way through turn 15, the crest over the hill once again, and they still got those Clios in front of them. Now Keith is just waiting as Vasily flashes the lights to signify to the Clio in front, please move out of my way, I've got to come through, and I don't want Keith Gatehouse taking this position away. So Keith also flashed the lights there. This is a good battle here for Class 3 top honours as well, and remember this is the second step of the podium as well. Usually it's just for top honours in Class 3, but there's another podium on stake here as Keith Gatehouse is going to go around the outside here. That's not where he wants to be. Oh, that's mighty close there with the two of them, but Keith keeps it nice and clean off the back bumper there of Vasily Vatikin. More lights flashing ablaze for Vatikin again to Krishna Reddy Patti to have him move offline, and that's mighty close there between the two of them. There as Keith Gatehouse comes through the corner. And the battle continues here for the second step of the podium. Now, where's Tani Hana in all this? He's 15 seconds behind at the moment, so he's not closing up in as much as I thought he would. So there's not that much of a speed difference between the two the classes, Class 2 and the
Class 3. Of course, they are different spec. The Class 3 cars are more conformed to GT4 racing and spec as well. You can tell that by the AMG GT. It's remarkably different from the GT3 car. As again, diving on the inside, that Charlotte Simmons around the outside of the Keith Gatehouse driven AMG, and that's a very unfortunate place to catch her as well, because that slowed Keith right down as they entered the club link, and there's nothing that she could do about it either. She also has a race to participate in as well, and she's currently running 3rd overall in class behind Pogosyan and Eduardo Miranda, who you can just see her up the road there. Now those two are locked in battle as well. 0.3 of a second separate our two Clios at the moment for the race lead, the 74 and the 7 and the 5, excuse me, as they're working their way now down towards turn 1. Miranda is looking for a way past to see if he can claim the lead here in the class at the moment. There it is, the battle between the two of them. So as one battle dissipates due to traffic, another one heats up here between our two Clios, as Tani Hannah dives to the inside of backmarker traffic, runs a bit wide, a little bit late on the brakes there, as he tries to go past James Greenwood, almost loses it through turn 2. Keeps it going as the Clio goes back past, and we've got a car into the pit lane, and in this Avik Anwar, unfortunately, who's come in. So Avik Anwar has come into the pit lane, unfortunately a lap down from his closest rival of Krishna Reddy-Patty. As Tani Hannah finally finds a way past James Greenwood to carry on his campaign to try and get closer to the top 3 overall, because of course, well, Duran is going to be quite a tough ask to catch him, and Avik Anwar unfortunately might be out. I think he is out, as the leaf blowers are out to try and cool the brakes down. As now Keith Gatehouse approaches the battle for the lead in the Renault Clios. Keith Gatehouse sees the blue flag, dives to the inside, leaves these two to do battle, as Eduardo Miranda stuck to the back of the David Pogosyan car as they continue on down towards turn 1. Eduardo Miranda looks to the inside, but not close enough to make a move. Both lock up going down towards that first corner on the right front, and can Eduardo Miranda pick the toe back up as he tries to climb his way back up to the bumper of Pogosyan, riding the curves as much as he can there to try and close that gap up. Now, was there damage on the bottom of Pogosyan's car there? It looked like the floor was flapping at the front end of the car as he pops up to 3 wheels, 1 wheel up in the air through the corner as they work their way now through turn 6. Pogosyan still retaining that lead in class, but Eduardo Miranda is going to take this fight all the way to the end here as we're onto the back straight once again here. Now can Eduardo Miranda head down into the braking zone, brake as late as he dares and turn right sharply. Here comes Tani Hannah as well into the mix. Tani, of course, the faster of the 3 cars, will be on site soon enough. As Eduardo Miranda sniffs the opportunity through the inside, through the bowl as well. Do they lean on each other? Not quite. And once again, Pogosyan takes back the lead, but for Eduardo Miranda, there's a great move there as we're going to go side by side. We crest turn 15. Eduardo Miranda around the outside here. Pogosyan on the inside, that's where he wants to be, but it looks like Miranda's going to try and get the switch back here as he's going to dive to the inside. Not quite close enough to make a move, but a great opportunity there as here comes Tani Hannah across the line and past these two. So once again the story repeats, the cycle continues here for Eduardo Miranda, who is trying to find a way past Pogosyan at the moment. David leading here, and you can see that damage on that floorball, but it doesn't seem to be disrupting that car or anything to do with it, because he seems to be up to the pace as Eduardo Miranda edges closer to the back bumper there. Continues this fight all the way through. Now remember, these cars are identical, they're the same weight, they're the same engine, they're the same car. The only difference is the livery and the driver behind the wheel. And it's a fantastic display as Avik Anwar has got back out by the sounds of it and continues on. Car popping there as we work our way through the corner. And again up onto 1 wheel in the air, riding on 3 wheels, and Eduardo Miranda again closing that gap up through turn 6 as he tries to get closer and closer to the back bumper of Pogosyan. And they'll work their way now down the back straight, and they'll turn right to the club link. Now, what can Eduardo Miranda do this time here? Or is he going to capitalize once again through the bowl complex? This is getting exciting with the Clios, as always. They always put on a fantastic display here in the Golf Pro Car. Looking forward to more action as he gets the switch back once again. Eduardo Miranda just puts the car exactly where it needs to be, but so does David as he hangs on around the outside of the bowl and gets the inside line through the corner there. There is the number 42 cleared, and that's car's a bit further back from this battle here. And actually these two are going to come up on the back bumper of that car as well, soon enough. Now the 42 has Valerie Bachmann driving that car at the moment, and there she is, just up the road with the two Clios still battling it again. The cycle continues here for Eduardo Miranda. Just cannot find a way past Pogosyan at all, and he's desperately looking for a way through. He's still got 4.5 minutes to go on the clock. As we'll look back to the leaders now. Car 96 receives a warning flag for track limits at turn 2 and turn 9. Car 96 is Vasily Vatikin. He's still ahead of Keith Gatehouse. The gap there is 5.8 seconds, but up front 19.1 seconds is the gap between Jabian and Vladikin from Gatehouse in third. And then Tanihana still circulating fourth. He's now 6.2 seconds behind the Class 3 cars of Vladikin and Gatehouse. The two leaders in the Clio here, we're looking at them right now as they continue this battle for the past couple of laps. It's been this close every single time we've gone through this sequence of corners, and it seems to be right when we get to the bowl, that's where Eduardo Miranda chooses the opportunity to strike, and he usually gets it done, but just can't carry the speed all the way through the bowl to stay ahead as Pogosyan continues around the outside. But let's see what happens this time round as they work their way through the club link. And this time round, unfortunately, Eduardo Miranda doesn't sniff an opportunity to work his way through. Tanihana now 3.8 seconds off the back bumper, but here we go. There is a slower Clio in front of the two of them here. This could play in the hands of Eduardo Miranda perfectly, but unfortunately not as they enter the braking zone, although he's carrying a full head of steam through that final corner, and that's as close as he's been so far to the back bumper of that car in front of him. Here we go, we're going to have another great battle down towards turn 1. All Miranda needs to do is just outbrake Pogosyan if he can, but it seems to be these two are level paid when it comes to braking. They both know when exactly they should be braking. And there you go, they start braking right at that board marker as well, but unfortunately Miranda not close enough to make a move. Simmons currently sits in third in the Clios, just ahead of James Greenwood, and she's currently 11.3 seconds behind this battle at the moment. And actually, has she got James Greenwood behind her? Not yet, because that's James Greenwood and Pascal Bachmann that have come across the line. They are currently separated by 0.2 of a second, with Daniel Jones being a further 7.8 seconds with Ivan Stanchin behind him as they run. There's just over 2 minutes remaining on the clock here in our first race of the day for the Golf Pro Car. It's been an exciting one so far. Unfortunately, we had that incident on the opening lap through turn 14 through the bowl, but it did not hamper our race here. We continued racing. We didn't need the safety car either. The black and white flag still waves to car number 96 as the Clios bounce over the curbs. And again, an opportunity here for Eduardo Miranda to go around the outside, but that seems to be where Pogosyan fares much better through that corner. I don't know how he's finding all that grip through that corner as well. It's quite hard to pass around the outside through the bowl here at the Dubai Autodrome, but it seems to be Pogosyan has found the right trick to do so and keep that line as well. As Ahmed Akaja there across the line, he is the Class 4 leader at the moment, ahead of Christian Reddy-Patti and Avik Anwar. Sitting now 2 laps ahead of his closest rival. On the same lap as Christian Reddy-Patti, he's actually 2 laps ahead of Avik Anwar, is Al-Khaja. Car 41 now receives a warning for track limits. Car 41 is not on our timing screens, what I can see here. Oh, we do, yes, Pascal Bachmann, excuse me, is the car that picks up that track limits. As now we're looking at Vasily Vatikin, who currently sits in second position overall in his GR Supra GT4 Evo. Just ahead of Keith Gatehouse, and that gap was a lot closer not too long ago. It is now up to 3.9 seconds as James Greenwood under pressure here from Pascal Bachmann, who's been warned about track limits now this time round. As now we're looking at the leader. Jabian here, the race leader, the 488 Challenge Evo. The first time he's appeared in the championship in the Golf Pro Car, and it looks like we're on the final lap of the race, judging by the board that's now sticking out underneath the starter's gantry. So let's follow the race leader as he works his way through the Dubai Autodrome National Circuit here for one final time. Just 3.56 kilometers separate himself and the checkered flag for his first victory in the Golf Pro Car Series. I don't think he was quite expecting that today with Tani Hana and Guru in the field, but nonetheless, he will be on the top step of the podium here. Will Jabian, as he works his way now through the club link, and he'll go through the bowl one last time here at our first race for the Golf Pro Car. As the battle for the lead in the Clio still rages on across the line, Eduardo Miranda still has to find a way through. But for Masoud, he's working his way now through the final corner as Charlotte Simmons across the line in third, under pressure from Valerie Backman at the moment. But there is Masoud, and he collects his first victory in the Golf Pro Car Series as he comes across the line to take the checkered flag there. A well-deserved victory there for him. He will be on the top step of the podium, and he'll be followed by the two Class 3 cars of Vasily Vatican and Keith Gatehouse, as a slew of Clios comes across the line, including James Greenwood, Pascal Backman and Daniel Jones. There is Vasily Vatican. He'll take second overall and the win in Class 3. A brilliant drive from him. Tani Hana will take third at the line. Keith Gatehouse just misses out on the third step of the podium there on the very last lap of the race. Tani Hana battles his way back through the field to take third overall at the line by 1.3 seconds. Now, let's have a look if we can go back to the battle between David Pogosyan and Eduardo Miranda, the two that are battling in the Clios, because of course we still have a race on our hands there with these two to figure out who's going to be where and who's going to be on the top step of the podium in this category, because Eduardo Miranda has only got a couple of more corners left to go. Now they're working their way through Sector 2 this time round. And of course, this is the very last lap of the race as more cars are working their way across the line. Ahmed Al-Khaja will come through. Well, there is Krishna Reddy Patty who comes across the line. He'll take second overall in Class 4. Here comes Eduardo Miranda, who managed to get the victory over David Pogosyan. So a great drive there on the final lap of the race for our number 5 driver there, Eduardo Miranda, who got the victory in class on the very last lap of the race. We just wait now for Ahmed Al-Khaja to work his way across the line, as he will be the final driver who'll be standing on the top step of the podium as he comes across the line there in Class 4, does the 16. So that wraps up our first race of the Golf Pro Car. What an eventful race that has been so far. We had the incident early on, and then from there we had a battle locked in for the top step of the podium in the Clios, and what a fantastic race it has been so far. We can't wait to see more action from the Golf Pro Car Series later today. So the cars now will make their way into pit lane. Of course, Gibran now pulls into the number 1 grid position, and he'll be followed by Vasily Vatican, who will line up in the 2nd position, and then alongside him will be Tani Hana in 3rd. Keith Gatehouse there almost on the podium this time round. And car number 39, or the driver's being asked to go to the so the cars now pull into the positions. There is Masoud. Big thumbs up from him. He's rather happy to have entered his first race in the Golf Pro Car and get his first victory. So a great way to start the season for him. A great statistic as well. 1 race, 1 win in the number 92. Vasily Vatican pulls into 2nd position overall, and Tani Hana will slot into 3rd place. So we'll get a quick glimpse of the highlights in a short moment time, but let's have a look at the other categories, because in Class 3 is Vasily Vatican from Tani Hana. From Keith Gatehouse, excuse me. Tani Hana was 2nd in Class 2. In the Renault Clios, Eduardo Miranda will be on the top step of the podium with David Pogosyan alongside for company, with Charlotte Simmons taking up the 3rd position on the podium. In Class 4, Ahmed Al-Khaja from Krishna Reddy Patty and Avik Anwar will join them on the podium in Class 4. Now, we will have the podium presentation shortly for the Golf Pro Car Series. And then, of course, we'll be on to more racing action here, because of the 2nd race of the day for the Golf Radical Cup. There is a car that's been pinged for track limits infringements, but it doesn't say what corner, so I wanted to be a shake-up with the results. It won't disrupt our podium, though, by the looks of it, because one of those cars is Pascal Bachmann, who finished 9th overall and finished behind James Greenwood, so he's 5th overall in the Renault Clios. As Tanihana gets out of his Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo and will hydrate before he makes his way up to the podium presentation area. There's a quick chat with the Dragon Racing team, because of course that's who's running his car this weekend. Talking to him about what happened, presumably, and you can see actually the team are there just in the background. They're looking at that left rear to see if there is any damage. I mean, he did manage to get through the field and didn't suffer too much damage to the car. And the fact that he got it back in one piece with only that minor scrape on the left side is, well, a job well done there for Tanihana. Craig Thompson there speaking to Vasily Vatican, discussing the race that just finished there. And of course we'll have the podium presentations shortly, as well as a quick highlights of all the action that took place here in our first race for the Golf Pro Car. We'll have at least 3 podiums here, 1 for overall. We'll have the Clios and of course Class 4 as well. 4 podiums, I've just been informed, that we'll have.
Actually, I didn't lose anything. I knew I would do second. I finished second. But he's the one who fucked up.
So we'll have a podium for all of the classes actually that we have here today, racing in the Golf Pro Car for 2, 3, 4 and Renault Clio. There's Tanihana.
So they say, huh?
Greets Masoud there. Masoud, of course, with the victory in his first race here in the championship. He'll be very, very happy with that result there, will Masoud, as he'll come up to the podium for the first time in his first race. And then you can see the damage to the left rear of Tanihana's car. A small amount of damage, not too much. It looks like some cracked body panels, but of course the team will be looking at that to ensure the axles, toe links and everything else is perfectly fine on the car and have it ready for the next race that will take place later today. As the team just trying to figure out what exactly is wrong there. So soon we'll have the podium presentation for the Golf Pro Car. We're just finalising the results and then we'll be good to go. As you can see, just all of the trophies that Tani has claimed in his lifetime racing with the Ferrari Challenge. It's hard to find a race that he hasn't won or finished on the podium anywhere around in the world. And well, why don't we check out some highlights now from the Golf Pro Car Race 1.
2, 3.
So before the start of the Golf Radical Cup race number 2, let's move on now to the podium presentation for the first race for the Golf Pro Car. And we'll start with Class 2. Let's bring them out in reverse order. Ladies and gentlemen, in second place, please welcome Tani Hana. And to the top step of the podium, please welcome Masoud Jibrian. And to help us present the trophies, let's first invite Erwin to help us present the second place trophy in Class 2 to Tani Hana. And then we invite Nabil Al-Ghaiti to help us present the first place trophy in Class 2 to Masoud. So as they pose for the photos, we'll now move on to the next class, which will be Class 3. That will take to the stage next. So let's move on now to Class 3. And again, let's bring them out in reverse order. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, please welcome Keith Gatehouse. And to the top step of the podium in Class 3, please welcome Vasily Vladikin. And once again, we ask Erwin to help us present the second place trophies. Or Nadia, do you want to do the honors of handing out second? Nadia, you can help us do second place in Class 3. If you could hand over the trophy to Keith Gatehouse. And then we'll invite Nabil Al-Ghaiti to help us present the first place trophy here in Class 3 to Vasily Vladikin. So as they pose for the pictures here, these are the top 2 in Class 3. Once we've done this, we'll move on to the Renault Clios. As I know, they're ready to go. And let's move right on to them. And as always, let's bring them out in reverse order. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, please welcome Charlotte Simmons. In second position, please welcome David Pogosian. And to the top step of the podium in the Renault Clio class, please welcome Eduardo Miranda. And to help us present the third place trophy, we'll invite Nadia Ali Khan back once again to present the third place trophy in the Renault Clio class to Charlotte Simmons. And then we invite Erwin back from the MSO to help us present the second place trophy in class to David Pogosian. And last but not least, let's invite Nabil back one more time to present the first place trophy in the Renault Clios to Eduardo Miranda. And those are your top 3 in the Renault Clios. Now let's move swiftly on to our final class in the Golf Pro Car. And this, of course, is Class 4. And as always, let's bring them out in reverse order. Ladies and gentlemen, to the third step of the podium in Class 4, please welcome Avik Anwar. In second position in Class 4, please welcome Krishna Reddy Patty. And to the top step of the podium in Class 4, please welcome Ahmed Al Khaja. And to help us present the trophies, we'll just wait for Al-Khaja to make his way to the top step of the podium, but Nadia Ali Khan with the third place trophy in hand, and we'll invite her to present the third place trophy in class to Avik Anwar. And then we invite Owen back one more time to present the second place trophy in class 4 to Krishna Reddy Patti. And last but not least, let's invite Nabil back one more time now to present our last trophy in the Golf Procast Series to our winner in Class 4, Ahmed Al-Khaja. So with the podiums wrapped up here, we'll move on now to the second race of the day for the Golf Radical Cup. So we'll catch you in a few moments' time.